What's up? It's Tice, and in this video I'm going to be going over one of the biggest questions in phone flipping is, do you really need an overseas buyer to make $10,000 profit a month flipping phones or $15,000 profit a month flipping phones? Because a lot of people think that to get to those big numbers you need overseas buyers. Lots of people think that. When I was starting out, I thought the exact same thing, and I kind of made a big excuse for myself. So if you have no clue who I am, my name is Tice, and I've been able to scale my phone flipping business to $20,000 profit in a single month. And I've also helped multiple other people hit 10K months, 13K months, 15K months, 18K months with phone flipping. So I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm talking about, and I know how to get to those ranges without overseas buyers. So the question is, do you really need overseas buyers to make $10,000 a month flipping phones? And the answer is no. And if you believe that, that's exactly why you're probably stuck right now. Because when I was first starting out, like a couple months in, I realized that I was capped out at a couple thousand a month. And all I heard, like when I was watching some of these YouTube videos, was like overseas buyers, overseas buyers, overseas buyers. And when you really look at it, it's really just somebody trying to sell you their overseas buyers list or their course with overseas buyers in it or whatever it is, right? If you really look at the person. So when I was first starting out, my first couple months, I was capped at a couple thousand a month, and I started making this excuse for myself of, oh, well, he's talking about this, I must need overseas buyers to get to his level, or things like that, right? I thought I was making excuses for myself without even realizing it. Like subconsciously, I was making excuses for myself thinking, oh, okay, I'm not where he is because I don't have overseas buyers, or I'm not doing as good as he is because I don't have overseas buyers. I'm not getting as many phones, selling as many phones as he is because I don't have overseas buyers. So I pretty much gave all the power to something else, right? Like I made myself powerless, as in like, oh, I can't do anything about it because I don't have overseas buyers, right? So it might sound a little like woo woo, but that's the reality. Is that I kind of, it might not be the right word, but I kind of submitted to the fact that I can't make $10,000 a month because I don't have these overseas buyers. So I kind of sat there for a little bit. I sat in that little space of like, oh yeah, I only hit 5K this month. I only hit 6K this month, but bro, it's because I don't have overseas buyers, right? So I kept making this excuse for myself, and that's where a lot of you people are at today. And a lot of you think you need these overseas buyers to get to that next level. But I'm here to tell you, you don't, right? I've helped multiple people, and I've done it myself, get to 5-figure months without overseas buyers. So in this video, let me break everything down, explain everything of how I did that, and also how you could do the same thing for yourself and the mindset behind it, literally every single thing, because this was a super big belief shifter and everything. So first things first is that some of you guys might be wondering or asking like, oh, why didn't you just buy the overseas buyer list? Or why don't you just buy the dude's course to get the overseas buyers? I did, right? I did. And this is another big thing around overseas buyers, is that they just work like a normal buyer, right? Like you just get an overseas buyer, they just pay higher prices, right? No, it's a lot different. So a lot of these overseas buyers, at least with the ones that I've bought the courses to get these overseas buyers and bought these like overseas buyers lists and everything like that, with 100 of them or 50 of them, 20 of them, right? I've bought plenty of them. They don't work like normal buyers like you would expect, right? So some of these people, some of these buyers, this is for you to kind of go and like experience for yourself, because maybe I just had some bad experiences, but like some overseas buyers only pay you once they sell the phones. Some overseas buyers require you to send in like 30 phones at a time. Some overseas buyers only buy certain phones. So a lot of the times these overseas buyers don't work like a normal buyer, and they don't work like you think they would, like a normal buyer. So a lot of the times you're sacrificing a couple different things just for like $40 more on a phone, or like $30 more on a phone. So you have to realize, like, sometimes you're sacrificing like a week to get $40 more on these 5 phones, or sometimes you're sacrificing your own money on buying these actual overseas buyers lists, because you spend $200 on a buyers list and most of them don't respond, and then some of them only buy certain phones, and then some of them only take phones in bulk and stuff like that, right? So That's like the first thing is just answering your question of like, oh, why don't you just buy overseas buyers? Why don't you just buy the list? Or I did. So back to like what I was saying is that if you believe that you need overseas buyers to get to $10,000 a month, or even $15,000 a month, or even $17,000 a month, that's exactly why you're stuck. You believing that is exactly why you're stuck. Like getting an overseas buyer when your system sucks is like buying a faster car when you don't even know how to drive, right? It's just not going to work. You're just going to crash even faster. So I want to kind of open your eyes and tell you that you could get to your goal without an overseas buyer, without this thing that you're letting like anchor you to the numbers that you're doing in your business. Because I let that happen to me, and it was so frustrating. And I only realized it once I hit like my first $10,000 profit month. So I want to talk to that person, the younger me who was phone flipping, that was anchored to this belief that, I need an overseas buyer. That's why I'm not making this amount of money. So if you're watching this and you're one of those people, I mean, it could just be one person that's watching this that's like in that position of like, I need overseas buyers. I need overseas buyers. Like, I'm talking to you. Now, I've worked with like literally hundreds of phone flippers, and like every single week, someone books a call saying, I just need overseas buyers to hit 10K profit a month. But the crazy thing is that most people actually hitting $10,000 profit a month, they don't sell overseas at all. Most of the people that I work with that are hitting 10K plus months, they don't sell overseas like at all. I have one person who's doing consistent 10K months who does sell overseas, but he just started. He was doing 10K months before that, but I have multiple other people that are doing a little bit over $10,000 a month, and they're not selling overseas. So here's exactly why people think they need overseas buyers. And here's why that logic just doesn't make sense, right? People see screenshots of crazy profits per phone, and they assume it's all because overseas buyers, when in reality, overseas buyers only a lot of overseas buyers. This is like goes back to like the buyer list that I bought. A lot of overseas buyers, they only chase volume, not individual sellers. So if you're not getting a shit ton of phones a week, you can't really deal with these like top level types of buyers. And if you can't produce consistent phones, they don't even want you. Like they're not even going to look at you. So unless you're getting a lot of phones, they're not even worth it. And a lot of them aren't even going to look at you because you can't really do business with them. So like back to what I said before is like getting an overseas buyer when your system sucks is like buying a faster car when you don't even know how to drive, right? If your whole entire system sucks, you're not sourcing enough phones, you're not negotiating the right way, you don't even know the basics of phone flipping, you've only been doing this for a couple months, that's exactly equivalent to getting a faster car when you don't even know how to drive. You haven't even mastered sourcing, you haven't even mastered like the basics of marketing and building trust and building yourself up and understanding how to negotiate on phones and everything. Like you haven't even built the foundations, and you're already looking for this overseas buyer, which you think is this like magical solution to all your problems in your business right now. So that's not it. But let's do some quick math real quick, because you can make $10,000 a month just flipping phones locally. Not locally as in buying locally and selling locally, but like buying, what I personally do is I buy locally through Facebook ads. Like I get my phones through Facebook ads because people reach out to me. And then I sell them in the States to a private buyer, just like a regular wholesale private buyer, whatever you want to call it. And you can make $10,000 a month doing that. That's personally what I do. That's personally what I teach people how to do. So if you're buying literally 20, 25 phones a week at $100 profit, that's 100 phones a month, right? That's $10,000 that's $10,000 in profit a month without any overseas buyer. That's pretty simple right there. Like it only takes 20 to 25 phones a week to do that. That's about like three phones a day to get to $10,000 in profit a month. So you don't need this like secret buyer. The main thing you need is just consistent deal flow. You just need to understand how to get consistent deal flow and consistent phones coming in. So here's like my system. I'm going to pretty much break it down. So this is the real mechanism, the real like system you need to actually get to $10,000 in profit a month without an overseas buyer. In some of my other videos, I like break it down visually and kind of show you what it looks like, but in here I'm just going to tell you what it looks like. So I'm going to break it down in words and not like visually like I do in some of my other videos. So there's a couple different pillars that you need in phone flipping. There's really only 3 big main pillars that you need in your phone flipping business. Number 1 is inbound leads. Number 2 is negotiation. And number 3 is going to be buyers, right? So number 1 is inbound leads. So you need people coming to you. You need motivated sellers coming to you to sell you their phone through ads and posts and referrals and organic content, right? So you need inbound leads. You need people coming to you. A lot of the reason why you think getting 100 phones a month or 20 phones a week or 3 phones a day is so unobtainable is because you're only doing cold outreach. You're reaching out to people who don't even want to sell you their phone, right? When you have inbound leads, you're getting people who want to sell you their phone. They're reaching out to you to sell you their phone. They need quick cash. They have a problem. They're in pain, right? They need to get their rent paid, their car payment paid. They need quick cash, for whatever reason. But the point is these people are coming to you, so that gives you the leverage to close 20 deals a week, 25 deals a week, right? So you get these inbound leads by running meta ads, posting on Facebook Marketplace, like some free ads that'll do a little bit of work. And also like referrals and organic content, like things like that. Number 2, the second pillar is going to be your negotiation process. So you need some sort of speed, you need some sort of consistency in your negotiation, and inbound leads and negotiation really tie together very, very closely because like if you have bad meta ads, if you have bad ads and they're not targeting the right type of person, you could have the best negotiation in the world, but you're not going to close any of them because they're not the right type of people, right? So you have to get these both down in order to actually like make a lot of money. You need the right type of customers that are coming in, and you need the right type of negotiation process to actually close these customers. What works for me is speed, right? I'm not trying to negotiate over text. I'm not trying to ask a bunch of questions about their phone over text. I'm trying to get them to a meetup as quick as possible so I could see everything for myself right in front of my eyes. And another thing when you are getting inbound leads is that these people need to sell their phone. They want to sell their phone for fast cash. So that gives you a lot of leverage. And a part of that leverage is you get people to meet up wherever you want. So I have people come to me. I meet 2 minutes down the road. It could be a Starbucks. It could be a 7-Eleven, whatever it is. I meet at Starbucks sometimes, a Wawa sometimes, but they're both like 2 minutes down the road. So that is that lever that you pull. That is leverage. When you have inbound leads, people come to you, because when you're just doing cold outreach, people don't want to come to you. A lot of times you're going to them. So that's just like a little thing of leverage when you're having inbound leads. So yeah, negotiation process, that's that. A lot of it is speed. I don't ask a bunch of questions. I have people drive right next to me. I get it all figured out in person. Number 3 is going to be just private buyers. So it could just be one private buyer. As long as your buyer is reliable, pays quick, and he buys every single phone, and he has some decent pricing, you could get to $10,000 a month. So as long as you have a good buyer there, like my buyer is super reliable, he pays good, pays on time, he doesn't have crazy deductions, and he buys every single phone on the market. So what else do you need? He buys, iCloud locked, passcode locked, blacklisted, carrier locked, cracked, unlocked, sealed, everything, right? iPads, Apple Watches, MacBooks. So when you have a buyer who's just overall, just everything, good in every single way, you only need one. So yeah, that's number 3. That's the third pillar, is buyers. So these are the 3 pillars that you really need, the system that you really need in place to get to $10,000 a month. Without this system, you can't get to $10,000 a month. So like I said, 1 is inbound leads, 2 is your negotiation process, and 3 is your private buyer. Those are the 3 biggest pillars. And then the 4th thing would just be reinvesting your profits back into ads and into inventory. And by the way, if you guys want any help with those 3 pillars, you could click the first link in the description. I'll put a link there. You could book in a one-on-one call with me, and I'll help you out with those 3 pillars so you could actually get to $10,000 a month for yourself. I'll just kind of show you, break down every single way of how I do those 3 things. Just kind of implement my system into your business. So if you want help with that, you can book a call, and I'll kind of just fast track your success so you don't have to go run ads, burn money, negotiate a bunch of leads, lose a bunch of leads, go through a bunch of buyers. I'll just kind of give you the exact system that I'm at today, the exact ads I run, negotiation process, and my buyer, everything like that. So if you want that, you can book a call. But that is basically the machine that actually gets you to $10,000 a month and beyond. And once that system actually runs smoothly, then the buyers, the overseas buyers, they start chasing you. Once these overseas buyers, this happens for a lot of the people that I've seen, and also for me personally, like once you get a lot of phones and people know you get a lot of phones, buyers come to you. So that's what you start to realize once you get bigger and bigger and you start making a lot more money and sourcing a lot more phones, is that connections will come to you. Suppliers will come to you. Buyers will come to you once you have your system down. So like I said, I've realized this personally, and for a lot of people that I do work with and that I have seen that have gotten overseas buyers, the buyers have came to them because they see how many phones that they're getting and they obviously want a piece of that. So once you stop chasing, you'll start like attracting once you actually have the system down and you are getting a bunch of phones. So actually in the end, it actually starts working the other way, right? So instead of you chasing, you start attracting. So it's actually like pretty funny how this works. The money isn't in the buyer, it's in the machine you build, right? If your machine is bringing you 5 phones a month or 5 phones a week, a buyer's not doing shit for you, bro, right? Like a buyer's not going to do anything for you. So the money isn't in the buyer, it's in the actual machine you build. Build a machine that brings you phones every single day, and the buyers will eventually chase you. Personally, that's how I've gotten my buyers. Genuinely, that's how I got my buyers, is because I used to post on Instagram and Facebook how many phones I was getting. Now, some of you guys might not even believe me, but I literally have like 45 private buyers in my contacts that I could sell phones to anytime I want, but I only use like one, and I also use some local buyers too. And that's really because I've built a system that sources so many phones that people want to start doing business with me. If you're sourcing 1 phone a week, nobody wants to do business with you. You're not important at all. So before you go chasing overseas buyers, fix your system first. And again, the whole point of this video is to answer, do you need overseas buyers to get to $10,000 a month? The answer to that question is absolutely not. So again, if you want help with any of this, this is exactly kind of what I help people with, is help you to build a machine that consistently brings you phones every single week, every single day, and you can actually get rid of those phones as soon as possible. So if you want to see what that looks like and you kind of want help with all this, again, I'll put a link in the description. You can book in a call with me, and if we're a good fit, I'll help you out with all this shit that I went over in this video to actually get you to 5 figures a month with phone flipping without overseas buyers. So that's that, and I'll see you boys later.